Welcome back to Pastry Maestra. I'm Teresa and today I'm making croissant. The origin of the croissant is, like it usually happens in the history of gastronomy, unknown or, to say the least, undefined. However, it seems that all the historians agree that the predecessor of the croissant was Kipferl, a crescent-shaped Viennese cookie traditionally made from ground nuts. By the way, if you want to learn how to make Kipferl, also known as vanilla crescents, check my post about it. The link is down below. Now, about the legends regarding the origin of croissant. There are many, but I will name just a few. According to one, Kipferl was invented in Europe to celebrate the defeat of the Umayyad Caliphate forces by the Franks at the Battle of Tours, France, 732, with the shape representing the Islamic crescent. Another legend tells a similar story, only it happened in 1683. Allegedly, some baker from Vienna, Austria, while the city was under siege by the Ottomans, heard their soldiers digging a tunnel to penetrate the city and called the military, who collapsed that tunnel and saved the city. So, to celebrate the defeat of the Ottoman forces, they created the crescent-shaped cookie and named it Kipferl. Fast forward to 19th century, and we have yet another story claiming that there was an Austrian artillery officer, August Zang, who in 1838 or 1839 founded a Viennese bakery, Boulangerie Viennoise, in Paris, France, and served Viennese specialties, including the Kipferl, that was made with noticeably flakier dough than traditional, and the French changed its name to croissant. In French, that means crescent. Now, it is important to emphasize that this was not a croissant that we know and love today, because it was not made of puff pastry at all. By the way, if you want to learn how to make a really good puff pastry, check my post. The link is down below. Now, various recipes for croissant appeared in the years after Zang's bakery opened, but the first one to refer to a croissant based on puff pastry was a French baker named Sylvain Claudius Goy, who wrote a recipe in 1915 that specifically mentions puff pastry with yeast. Finally, a star was born. Nothing more to tell, so let's honor the memory of great chef Goy and make some yummy croissant right now. As usual, the recipe is on my site and the link is down below. First thing I'm gonna do is make the dough. I've put flour into a bowl of a stand mixer fitted with hook attachment, and now I'll add salt and sugar. I'll start mixing on low speed, and then I'll add fresh yeast, cold milk and cold water. At the end, I will add softened butter and continue mixing on low speed for a couple of minutes. The dough should be compact and smooth. My dough is done. I will flatten it, wrap it in plastic foil and refrigerate overnight. My dough was in the fridge whole night, so now I will prepare the batter for laminating. I have folded a sheet of parchment paper into 15 by 15 centimeters, which is 6 by 6 inches square. I will unfold the paper and put the butter in. Then I'm gonna fold the paper so the butter is completely closed inside the paper. Now I will pound the butter with rolling pin and roll it so it spreads into a form of a square. The butter should be cold but elastic. Then I will put it back in the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes. Next thing I'm gonna do is roll out my chilled dough into 30 by 15 centimeters, which is 12 by 6 inches rectangle. Then I will place the butter in the middle of the dough and fold the dough over the butter to enclose it. I will carefully roll out the dough into a long rectangle. Make sure that you always roll the dough in a direction that is parallel to its seamless side. It is important that I distribute the butter inside of the dough evenly, so I'll work slowly. Now I will make a single turn, meaning I will fold the dough into thirds. I will wrap the dough in cling film and put it in the fridge for about 20 to 30 minutes. My dough is chilled, and now I will roll it out again into a form of a long rectangle. Now I will make second turn. I will refrigerate the dough again, and then I'm gonna repeat the process once more. Croissant dough calls for 3 single turns. And here is the third turn. I will refrigerate the dough again. My dough is chilled, and now I will roll it out into 5 mm, which is 1/4 of an inch thick, and 50 by 20 centimeters, which is 20 by 8 inches in size rectangle. I will finally trim my dough to get the perfect rectangle. I will put a mark every 10 centimeters, which is 4 inches, on one side of the rectangle. On the opposite side, I'm gonna make the first mark at 5 centimeters, which is 2 inches, and then every 10 centimeters, which is 4 inches. Then I will cut isosceles triangles with my pizza wheel. It is important that the dough remains cold, and if you feel that butter is starting to melt, put everything in the fridge for 15 to 20 minutes and then continue cutting. I will put my triangles in the fridge for about half an hour. Now I will gently stretch each triangle, and then I'm gonna roll it into croissant shape. I've put them onto a paper-lined baking tray, and now I'll brush them with an egg wash. I will put my croissant in the oven, which is completely cold and turned off. On the bottom, I will put one plate filled with warm water and leave my croissant to prove for 2 hours. The temperature inside the oven should be 25 to 27 degrees centigrade, which is 77 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Here are my proofed croissants. Now I'll give them another coat of egg wash, and then I will put them in the oven at 180 degrees centigrade, which is 350 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 20 minutes until golden. My croissants are done and they look delicious. Now I will cut one in half to show you how flaky and beautiful is its inside. All this beauty calls for some more butter, raspberry jam, melted chocolate. You name it, I'll eat it. Bon appétit!
Oh baby, you are so sweet, so delicious and yummy, so good to eat. I wanna lick you, feel your sweetness on my lips. Forever and ever, you'll stay on my hips.
I'm Teresa. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you liked it. If you want to stay in touch, follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and of course, visit my site where you can find elaborate posts with lots of pictures, additional information and recipes that follow my every video. Also, on my site you can download my free 365 pages ebook, The Pastry Chef, and maybe buy me a macaron, if you think that I've earned it. Now, before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That really helps a lot. Finally, and this is the most important thing, don't forget to create sweetness every day, because sweetness is happiness. See you in my next video. Bye!